potential opportunities.
Yep, so Rel could be in the jungle, could be in support. The Hui could be mid, could be support.
I love
Have
this.
to see.
I think the Tristana makes so much sense here, especially like more so than if you did want a Samira, because I feel like TF Tristana just opens up so much pressure on turrets in the game. And Ppgod, there it is, Munch goes right back to Earth God.
I will say as well, this Tristana is actually technically a flex because TF has been seen in the bottom lane as well. We've seen it in LCK. TF AD carries are being played. And Tristana's happy in either lane as well. The Maokai for even more flexing on the side of RA. Who knows where any of the picks are going? You have to assume it's Hui mid, Rel in the jungle, and then the Maokai support. But the Rel jungle Maokai support, those have been kind of swapped around between different teams depending on preferences. But it looks like as well, the twist of fate will be towards that mid lane.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it'd be too hard to go bot TF, because like I said, then you just have no AP and you're playing up against Aatrox, Rel, Maokai. If this game really did go the distance, it could be hard. But at the same time, OMG have a lot of tools to be able to pull out ahead in the mid game, right? Destiny, that's when Tristana's going to be incredibly like strong, sieging down those turrets. So I think a lot going to be in the hands of Naiyou to be able to find some things, especially on the spot side, right? You have a lot of potential poke there with the saplings enabling the VODS skews. So I think a lot going to be up to this bot lane 2v2 that Assum and Zorah, I don't know why I mixed their names, Assum and Zorah can bring to the table.
The power of Assum and Zorah makes Zoom the JDG 2020 top laner. Oh dear.
Maybe not better days, but better days for Zoom. Jeez.
Definitely better days for Zoom, yeah. I mean, that's not saying a lot, is it, at this point? As here we go. Well, let's say that. Maybe he's having a great time, but he's just not on the roster right now, that's all. Here we go. Game number 2. OMG, very, very clean game number 1. Nice to see them not just being clean in terms of less mistakes, but also in terms of having a game plan, enacting that game plan, playing to their strengths of their composition. See if they can do it again here in game 2.
Now Angel gonna be going with the spell book, so gonna have that, you know, utility to play for, having whatever similar spell he could need, providing more utility in team fights. And I really want to keep my eyes on him because in his last TF game, he was trying to provide early support once he got that Destiny online to especially provide support to people like Cube. I think with this draft, it's going to make a lot of sense to look towards that bot lane because if Abel and Ppgod can get ahead, there is not much that Maokai and VODS can do from behind.
No, certainly not. You certainly have range, but that's pretty much all you have at that point. Certainly will be helpful to have the Maokai later on if we do get into the situation where we're trying to check Barons, we're trying to check Dragons, trying to make our way through the jungle. Saplings can buy you so much space on the map. But also that long-range engage. I feel like Maokai Rel is an exceptionally strong duo in that the Maokai can get you into places. Rel has that big crash down, but also the Maokai long-range engage can set up for then Rel to get a big combo onto a player.
Yeah, I mean, hell, that's one thing RA have in spades, right? Is tons of CEC. I mean, every champion bringing it out. Aatrox for the chains, of course. Hui has so many different ways to lock you down, so it's going to be interesting to see, especially Vicla taking the Airy in this matchup, a lot more confident about being able to get those Qs hitting onto Angel pretty consistently and hopefully get that damage to stick. Again, I feel like that the trade-off of not having Comet is that the slow from Comet really can set up for some of your abilities to also have an easier time landing as well.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get the procs there. Oh, Vicla slightly wide, and that'll mean just a heavy trade in favor of Angel mid lane. We'll be keeping our eyes on that mid lane because right now it may be quiet, but especially once Angel hits level 6, maybe it won't be the mid lane that's exciting, but you expect him to try and get out onto the map, assuming that he has opportunity elsewhere. The Rakan in that bottom side, though, there is plenty of opportunity to punish.
Yeah, I mean, hell, even top, like, the one thing we know is Xiaoxu is going to be pretty consistently pushing this lane. So even though I'd rather see him go for bot, because swinging this matchup really can just turn the game. If there isn't an opportunity, and maybe there is one top and your bot lane's in a fine situation, it's like you could set Cube up for a bit more success, but Yeah, lots going to be waiting on that point. I don't expect OMG overall, especially with having the Viego as well, a champion that, like, right, you can go for duels, he can look for ganks, but has a lot more opportunity at level 6, so might take it a bit slower, unless Vicla. Ooh.
Oh no, that's flash burn. XiaoFang, he literally just walked at it.
Yeah.
Why would you do anything else when Vicla's going to walk into you too? Now in a really tough spot is Vicla. No flash available on an immobile mage.
And it sucks too. Didn't even have a ward to put down. So I was guessing he'd lean over to ward because his gen goes on the bot side, and was just hoping he could find the timing. His gold card.
Oh no, flash available for XiaoFang as Naiyou moves into the mid lane to try and protect, but that is going to be at minimum a couple of minions lost, and perhaps a little bit of dignity lost for Vicla.
And again, right, he took the area. He took something where he figured he'd be able to find these consistent trades onto Angel, but so far just having a really hard time in this lane, and it's opening up for XiaoFang to try and look for these sorts of invades.
Certainly is. Gets his big raptors, or big raptor, singular. So nice little pick up for XiaoFang. Goes for the reset, can move. Looks like he's going straight back towards that top side of the map. The grub spawning in 30 seconds, does want to be a part of that. Xiaoxu with a level lead up in the top lane, actually. As there's a slightly stacked wave pushing into Cube here.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of hard to find an opportunity with this. And, you know, I guess we kind of can bring it back to the series overall. Because, you know, maybe people are just tuning in. XiaoFang picking up the MVP in Game 1, I think is super cool because him and Naiyou coming from top esports challenger together, and XiaoFang really being the sub for Naiyou, which I guess is one of the more surprising things about both of them being picked up and making their debuts in the LPL this year. So hell, if XiaoFang can win 2 games in a row, and especially if he picks up another MVP, that is really making a statement as like, yo, you should have been my sub last year, brother.
It feels like Knight versus Yagao, right? Where, you know, famously Yagao was the mid laner for their LAN team, and then nowadays, Knight, generally speaking, I think public perception is very much in his favor. Always funny to see those storylines and how symmetrical some of the storylines in LPL end up being.
Also how symmetrical our schedule has been with, like, every weekend it'll be like 2 teams play one day, like 4 teams play, and then they just swap opponents the next day. I feel like we've had that pretty consistently every week, this split.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an odd split, honestly, and I feel like we've had some really polarized schedules as well. Yeah. Some teams having to play against every single top team. Other teams kind of struggling against lesser opponents, which is never a great way to start your year. I'll not mention any names, that feels a little bit mean at this point, but now Angel has TP'd back into the mid lane, as has Vicla. Trying to set up for this Drake. It feels like both teams are putting some presence there, but XiaoFang is, after toying with the idea before, he's just abandoned ship. He's gone up towards the top side of the map, gone for his wolves here, and is, I think, going to look for another Raptor invade.
Yeah, it looks like they're fine giving this one up for now. Sadly, I don't really... I mean, hell, he doesn't know, right? But not too much to play for in topside just yet. I guess the topside camps are finally coming back up, but not a whole lot of gank opportunity in topside if they want to pivot that way. This also means I think there's not as much... Oh, Xiaoxu might just get solo killed. Yeah,
Cube is looking for it, and Angel's roamed up to the top side as well. We said we'd rather bot, but when it's on a silver platter like that, why not?
Yeah, and the opportunity wasn't there bot lane. I didn't even think the opportunity was there top. Xiaoxu's health kind of just disappeared out of nowhere, even just from the 1v1 alone. Doesn't have TP, so is going to be missing out on quite a bit of CS here, too.
Ppgod and Abel get away with their lives. I feel like they wanted to ward that, but neither of them has a ward, so they're going to struggle. There's a plate taken by Cube as well. A lot of CS denied as Xiaoxu Walker Shane back to the top side, did not have his teleport available. We'll be able to pick up some of this CS, and actually in terms of CS, he's relatively even, but still fantastic. Cube doing a lot of the work for this by himself.
Yeah, doing it, the W has the ult, and then, I mean, once the all-out comes through and, you know, that damage increases, he is doing so much. Angel even able to follow up so easily. Wasn't even already, like, hovering up towards the top lane play. It was just purely reactive. Cube finding the angle, and Angel able to make his way up.
I think Xiaoxu had flash at that point as well, so ordinarily you'd look at that TP positioning from Angel and think, ooh, that's dangerous. Like, if you get hit by a little bit of CC, you're going to die to the tower. But because the flash was up for the Aatrox, you have to TP deep so that his flash is totally meaningless, so that the gold card is going to hit him regardless. He can follow up the Q. So nice stuff from Angel as well. TP quite deep and punish that. And a good little start here for OMG. But XiaoFang now having Naiyou try and invade him. I don't know what RA are looking for here, whether it's the blue buff or a fight.
I think they're hoping for both. You know, having the Maokai here, having to, you know, knowing they'd have the numbers advantage at first. Now, Ppgod will show in mid, so they know if anything breaks out, it will just be a full 4v4 topside. Wait,
XiaoFang has the upgraded smite. There's no way they get this blue buff. Unless he's just punted away and isn't in range to smite. There we go. Naiyou gets a buff for himself. Gravity Storm comes on in. Good bit of CC, but actually it's Naiyou that's the one in trouble. Forced to flash away, followed immediately, but they can't get the kill. 1-for-1 now. Cube enters the scene. Angel with that kill. Won't flash for the gold card onto anything more.
I mean, now Angel with the double buffs, so hopefully can do quite a bit with this, you know, able to spam those abilities more, try and get that burn down too. Vicla having a burn of his own. And I mean, hell, both mid laners, right, being the beneficiaries in that situation. But now it's all about if OMG can pick up this next set of grubs. I mean, we saw how overwhelming the 6 grub stack was in the last game. This time around, you're going to be pulling people around the map with Twisted Fate, the Destiny. Yeah. You're going to have the Tristana. Like, that really just will be so overwhelming for RA to deal with.
Yeah, incredibly difficult to deal with. Second of all, the fight felt a little bit chaotic here as Naiyou went for the Gravity Storm. No, Magnet Storm, sorry.
Yeah, it feels very weird because OMG kind of just walked into them at first. You don't have any way of getting onto the Hui or anyone in the backline, so you have to settle for taking down the Rel. But all that kind of just allows for the Hui to throw out all of his AoE abilities. We saw, you know, the QE and them trying to avoid that burn and things like that. But it's just too hard when they have to funnel into that small choke in their own jungle.
Yeah, now XiaoFang off the back of the resets just walked straight back in, and absolutely no contention whatsoever from RA on these grubs. So it's going to be a 12 grub series for OMG here. Also, and that's a little bit tough for RA.
I want to point out the Shirelias first on the TF. I remember about the Shirelias the other day. I can't remember if it was before the Lich Bane or not in that matchup, so it's something that, you know, he does like to go towards. It's going to set up for him. He has a cheap item, has the AP, the ability haste, the mana regen, all that good stuff. But also just opens him up to try and make more plays towards sides with that movement speed and with the active. So Angel now with the 2 kills and kind of with this utility, I think is really set up in a position to find some impact in the game.
I mean, you know that you're finding impact when you're getting Prio mid versus Hui. There's not many champions that get Prio versus Hui. His kit's so good at just one-shotting those waves. But TF is the OG one-shot waves guy. You know, like, yeah. TF's been doing this back since 2011 or whatever year he came out. I actually have no idea. I think he was an original champion, right? Was he one of the first set? I don't know.
I don't know either. You know, I came in season 2, in the little season 2 days.
I came in at Skarner release.
The good old Captain Flowers champ. I just love how now that's how Skarner will always be known.
Yeah, it's because nobody else would touch that garbage champion with a barge pole. Sorry, Flowers.
clip it, and send it.
It do be like that. It really do be like that.
But kind of going back to the game, now even more key items coming out with Sundered Sky picked up for the Viego. So you can have this really deadly mid-jungle combo. But once again, OMG are just completely giving up the bot side of the map. Drakes, they feel completely fine. I mean, Abel is staying even in farm. They're doing fine in that 2v2. But it's just curious that we haven't really seen teams just constantly opt for the gold trade this split. But OMG seems so happy to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. More than happy to play on that top side. Angel, look at the aggressive positioning. He walks almost under the tower to get that wave. Vicla is behind him in the lane. It's not often that you see proxying in the mid lane before the tower. Oh, Assum is just dead. The quickness even going to be used here. I don't know how necessary the quickness was, to be honest, and the ult from Abel, but either way, it cost them 3 summoners, but they get themselves a kill.
I mean, that flash from Abel was also beautiful. I can't wait to get a replay from that. Flashing right past the Chains of Corruption. Just to be able to find the kill. So OMG, I mean, we said it right. They've been leaving the spot lane on an island. They've been saying, hey, you guys take all the Drakes. We're going to play for top side. find a gold lead they've had. It's about 3,000. And Able and Ppgod not only thriving in terms of the CS, but finding a kill too. So massive for OMG, and we're going to get to see here. Ghost gets popped, flashes past the chains of corruption. Absolutely beautiful from Able. And like you said, the quickness may be a bit of overkill, but you know what? They're making sure that Assum is dead. He's going to be dead in the afterlife too. He doesn't get any chances. Stable Ppgod.
No reincarnation for Assum. Not this time around. 3-1 on the scoreboard now. And it's almost a 4,000 gold lead for OMG, and they're looking to keep that ball rolling. TP comes up through to try and answer, but Angel was here first. He got the ult off, and now Vicla, they're just going to go for a redive. Oh, the TP turns into a disaster. With 6 grubs, this tower will remain no more.
I mean, with Bramble Vest and Iceborne Gauntlet, Cube just showed he does not have to care about the damage coming from that turret, and sadly, RA still not really... Ooh. I might jinx it. I was going to say not in a position to find anything, but if Able Ppgod blindly walk up to that brush, we're going to see what happened to Vicla earlier. You don't do that. You don't blindly walk up to that brush. I mean, Ppgod can because he's Pawn, but Able, you don't do that.
Yeah, that's a dangerous game to be playing. Naiyou, off the back of this tempo, will try and start Herald, but I realistically don't think that they can actually commit to that one. It feels like when the play goes that one-sided, there's not even that much opportunity to go for an opposite play, right? Like, you've got the AD carry and support in mid lane, but it's only 3v2 and they're near their tower. It's not like it's a one-sided dive. When it goes so pear-shaped in the top side, it really does feel tough to find an answer elsewhere. In the meantime, Angel has just gone all the way to the bottom lane. He's denying waves. He's taking more towers and more gold around the map.
And
we're
now,
denying everything from RA.
We're getting to see what I just hit on, you know, a few minutes ago of like XiaoFang and Angel pairing up. So much damage to CC between them.
Okay, do we have the CC chain of damage to actually finish Vicla here? Flash for flash for the mid laners. I'm not sure that was worth going for.
I think if XiaoFang had ult, like, that is a kill guaranteed, right? But sadly, it's just about to come up right now, so maybe getting a bit ahead of themselves on that opportunity. But maybe they'll look for it again now with Ppgod in the area too. But there's a potential pinch coming onto RA, but I think they'd probably still win this, even if the Maokai and Rel did decide to wrap it
My lord, Cube is just destroying Xiaoxu. Forces the flash out from him. I mean, it's just a massacre on the top side right now. XiaoFang forced away by Zorah. 2 Drakes for RA, but that is really the only benefit that they have in the game right now.
I mean, Xiaoxu hasn't even finished his Profane Hydra yet, and you have Iceborne Gauntlet. You now just picked up a giant spell on top of the fact that you've had that Bramble Vest. Like, he's just so much tankier, so much stronger than Xiaoxu is right now. Finally picks up the Profane Hydra on this back, but it's kind of being matched because Angel now hitting a second item of his own. A full item up over Vicla now that he has the Lich Bane, so... Yeah, it feels like RA are going to be far away from any potential chance to fight. And it's been kind of sad because we haven't even really seen them trying to, like, maybe answer back elsewhere. They've been late on some of the rotations to catching waves inside. Angel's been doing a great job of, like, keeping up that pressure constantly. Cube so far ahead. He's now a side lane threat as well. Like, OMG seriously have everything going for them in this game that they could have wanted.
Yeah. We got another pop-up there next to Angel. I'm saying that's how much gold he's gained from his passive so far, since the other pop-up was center passive. I'm saying that's probably TF passive gold. He is incredibly strong at this point in the game. And I love that OMG have really come alive and have a very clear win condition in both games in this series. They're playing a much cleaner series than we've seen all year from them. I have to wonder, it's a relatively veteran roster, generally speaking. Maybe this is just a we'll try after Chinese New Year angle, you know? I feel like this is a totally different team today.
I also feel like we're seeing them more lean into, I mean, kind of like what we said at the start of the day, right? Lean into their strengths. Tristana, TF, we've had Ppgod engaged in both games. Like, it's kind of nice to see OMG really just embrace who they are and what their players are good at.
It's feeling good right now. The Herald, oh, we're gonna try to escape with the Herald. We're using the Summoner's Drift to save the Herald and use it to DPS the Drake. Bit of an odd one, but we're using it as a taxi service at this point. Cube trying to escape as well, as we could have a team fight on our hands. The Herald will just go bot. Unfortunately, the charge has been used though, so we're not going to get too much out of that one. Angel pops the ult, perhaps just for vision here. He's on a flank right now. OMG are posturing. They are willing to fight this, but RA don't want to let the Drake go without one either. The root's going to come on in. It's going to be a 50-50 as Naiyou moves in, but the smite goes to XiaoFang, and now the fight. RA need this one. Xiaoxu trying to get onto the backline, but the CC chain is just too much. The spiraling despair can't finish off the kills, and Cube somehow surviving. The ult comes out from Abel to deny anything from Assum, and it's an absolute wipe once more. OMG are unstoppable today.
Yeah, OMG just completely taking over. I'm a bit surprised that RA weren't more decisive when the TF ult came through. Like you said, I think it was for vision, but gave you potential to maybe turn to one side of the fight. OMG now is going to be able to damage these structures so much more and further this gold lead, probably beyond the 10K mark if these pushes keep going.
I mean, I think that's the thing that I'm really impressed with on OMG today is it's not just like a gold lead. It's not just that they're playing proactively. Like, they are stomping this game. They are so far ahead.
I think RA to be a bit more decisive to go in earlier, really contest the Drake. Like, TF shouldn't be able to get here too fast. They go for the engage on Cube, but I mean, look at the backline. Vicla and Assum not able to damage anyone. I think Vicla was finally able to hit Xiaoxu at the end. And then it's here, where Assum, left in no man's land, with you know, two other members running backwards, two other members running forward. It was just such a mess from RA. And honestly, it's kind of been one of their biggest faults, right? Not finding that coordination in team fights, where OMG, they were all so in unison, they were all ready to pull the trigger and say the word go. It's just XiaoFang jumping in to enable Cube and make sure he gets out alive. It was just so impressive.
And it's just great to see, considering that's one of the biggest criticisms we've had for OMG so far this split, is that coordination. Them actually working as a team, being on the same page. It feels like Angel especially has changed his tune today. Yeah. Compared to what we've seen so far in the split.
Honestly, it has been, and I think we're going to sound to a broken record to a lot of people, especially, you know, people who watch LPL every day. Thank you so much. But point is, a lot of teams right now have those coordination issues. A lot of teams right now, players are getting picked off willy-nilly left, right, like someone's pushing top alone when, like, you don't see anyone on the map or things like this. And it's nice to see OMG now, Angel.
Oh, no. Vicla used his CC too early, so Angel just walks away with it. It's a nice pick up to Zorah. I mean, that's potentially Baron, or in fact, potentially more kills. Naiyou caught up and will be taken down. And if it wasn't a Baron opportunity before, it certainly is now. But we're looking for more dives. We're just going to go for more kills. OMG, they're feeling a little bit more like 2023 OMG again.
It's looking good. And that engage, I mean, RA clearly having nowhere safe they can walk. That is like the shallowest part of their own jungle. But Destiny means they can still go for it, so now going to be able to go for this Baron. And just look, all lanes are pushing complete vision control. I mean, this game is done and dusted, right? RA need 4 miracles.
Oh my goodness, the spellbook means he has cleanse available. He was baiting Assum that whole time.
Look at the laugh.
That was clean as hell from Angel.
Angel having the cheeky laugh. It even looks like he might have just typed. So if he did, that'd be hilarious to know, but my God. I didn't even expect action to come out here, because look how like shallow this is from RA. They really haven't stepped out at all, but the Destiny means they could pinch him off. They had push in mid as well, so Ppgod wrapping around from that angle, and then just Naiyou poking his head back in. I mean, at this point, right, you got to be demoralized. You got to be thinking, like, how do we even win this game? But it just allows OMG to push for even more.
Absolutely fantastic game from OMG. And Cube wants a little bit more as well. Pulls Xiaoxu over the wall. He is pretty alone here, but the cavalry are on their way. The Q3 pulls Xiaoxu back into the action. And a good job by Angel to finish the job, but Cube setting the play up. And now everybody dives on board. Easy kills, easy action, and easy ace for OMG. Who needs breaks in the action? OMG have got 17 kills in 22 minutes. They are demolishing RA. I don't think they're just going to end the game here.
If you told me that OMG was going to have one of the most dominant series of the split, I would not have believed you, but once they did it.
They've done it, and this is one of the fastest games of the split as well, at under 23 minutes. OMG, take a bow. That was gorgeous gameplay.
OMG even keeping us on schedule because, you know, our next series is in Shenzhen. It's starting in 15 minutes, but OMG making sure that we get to that one in time. I mean, it's just hard to even praise them more than we have because they're just such a phenomenal game. Like you said, their biggest problem coming in, it really felt like, was kind of coordinating what they wanted to do as a team. It seemed like pieces were very separate. XiaoFang was trying to find influence in lanes. Lanes weren't really transferring pressure to each other. But this series was a complete flip of that. We saw everything we wanted to see from them. Great play on the TF this time around, like just always on the same page. That's why those team fights were so hectic. We got to see the patented 2023 OMG full send that we've been waiting for. Yeah.
I mean, it felt good to see. It felt good to see. I feel like Ppgod had a really good day as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
On the Nautilus and on the Rakan. I mean, we expect him to look good on Nautilus and Rakan, right? Those are kind of the signatures, but earlier in the